Hey guys, so today we have a few stories to get through. Nothing too crazy, actually. A few crazy. But my chair is making a noise that it's not supposed to make. A few stories, a few things to go over, and a few things that are happening. Isn't that just every single Angelika Oles video? Social media links will be in description. Second channel if that's something you guys want to watch, because I am currently, doing the beauty guru thing. Let's start out with the first story, which is James Charles and Emma Chamberlain have rekindled their friendship. There is a fly on my camera. Move away. Not only that, but they have also now started filming videos together. Now, I want to express some opinions about this and some maybe slight concerns. So I feel like the last time they had this friendship, it broke because of public issues. I mean, they both said that they have been hanging out privately for a while before filming these videos, and they are filming them because people clearly want to see them together publicly again. But I'm just worried how genuine friendships survive when they are public, because I feel like most issues in real relationships and real friendships on the internet, like if you have like a real relationship or a real friendship and then you make it public, it tends to fall apart because it was made public. It's very different if you make a friendship purely for networking, because those friendships are made on the basis of being public and they are not broken down by publicity. And even if they break apart because of something public that happens, you're not really like that hurt by it, because you're like, my whole intention of going into this friendship was for networking. So if it doesn't help me or them anymore, then we can just go our separate ways, and you're not like you're not gonna like cry yourself to sleep about it. But when you have a genuine friendship, I see that a lot of people then take that friendship online, which is like, because your online is like your second life. And a lot of people take their real friendships on the internet to then find that the public ends up ruining the relationship for them, and they create problems that were never there before. So I'm just wondering if we're gonna have like a sister squad fallout in another year again. If this is a genuine friendship, I hope that nothing happens publicly now they have taken this friendship public where it could ruin that friendship again, because I feel like this whole like LA culture of jumping from friendship to friendship can't be good for the mind, because you do need some like stable relationships to be able to like trust, confide in, talk to. So when you have like a constant new friend, you don't really trust them, so you don't end up having anyone to like vent to or talk to. So I'm hoping that this friendship doesn't once again go through a bit of a situation publicly, because I feel like most people on YouTube need at least like a handful, or maybe just like one person that understands the industry that they can talk to and vent to. It's very helpful. I used to not have YouTube friends because I thought that the whole thing was just super problematic. I still don't have public YouTube friends. I have people that I talk to on the timeline, and you might see me interacting with them, but that's just kind of how it is in like a workplace, where you walk past someone and you say hi and how are you, and you keep on walking, but you don't like see them outside of work. But there are some people that I genuinely talk to behind the scenes pretty much daily. So I think it's good to have like a handful of people that you aren't necessarily like super public with, but you can trust in terms of like venting about stuff and talking about things and expressing opinions and kind of just getting some things off your chest. So I'm hoping, one, that they don't let some stupid talking people, stupid talking people, and by that I mean Jeffree Star, get in between them again. Because doesn't it seem kind of like Jeffree Star comes in between every single friendship? Doesn't it kind of seem that way? For example, right, so Jeffree kind of ruined his own friendships, like a bunch of them, with like Manny, Laura, Gabriel, a bunch of those people. And then he actually started talking to Tati about James negatively, so that she would stop hanging out with James, because he was, I guess, like jealous of a 19-year-old. That's embarrassing. I feel like we're going off route now. That is so embarrassing. Like, I am embarrassed for you. He started DMing people about James and messaging. So I'm hoping there's like, Emma seems like a very smart person, smart girl, and she clearly is more likely to want to be friends with James, who is closer to age in her, than someone who is a grown man. So I don't think that would happen. But however, yeah, I just want their friendship to like actually last this time, because it just feels like last time it was like this big public blowout, and then no one really wanted to be friends with James, so everyone just kind of distanced themselves from him, hoping this time it's not the case. Because they posted one video on Emma's channel, one video on James's channel pretty much at the same time. Now I'm talking about them as like a unison. I'm talking about them as if it was just like one video, because I made notes because I was watching one video after the other and I was just making notes. So some of the notes are kind of universal for both, like they kind of apply to both the videos, and I'm not going to like specify which video was what because that's not really important. If you want to watch both videos, you can watch both videos, but they essentially like spoke about the same stuff in both, except for Emma's video is more of a sit down chatty video, so they spoke more than in James's video, because James's was Emma styled him for a week, so she wasn't there for the whole week, so they didn't really spend like all 7 days just talking. So they talk about rekindling their friendship recently. Relationships, they speak about that. They speak about the fact that, and it's kind of like what I'm mentioning now, which is how real are most YouTube friendships or relationships, because some of them are real and then they make them public and then they stop being real, or there's those relationships that are clearly built off of the platform, aka any Jeffree Star friendship is purely because he sees some kind of potential in being friends with that person, and rather than actually wanting to spend time with that person. They speak about relationships, and Emma says that she's scared of dating people because she's scared that there's always some kind of an ulterior motive, which I guess is why most bigger YouTubers don't have any regular friends, and if they do have regular friends, they don't make those relationships public. I'm guessing as a test to see if that person still wants to be friends with them, even if they're not getting the public benefits of being friends with that person. And then if they have, like, for example, Emma and James, they're not, like, leeching off of each other because they both have huge brands. So even if they're publicly friends, it's not like one person is leeching off of the other. They clearly don't really want to date in the industry. They don't want to date anyone just as big as them. But then dating someone who isn't famous could clearly end in them wanting to be famous from them. That is so confusing. But yes, I kind of like that whole conversation they had, because it probably does make dating really difficult when you're some of the biggest creators on the platform. They speak about someone called Lorraine. I don't know any of these names, probably some TikTok people. Lorraine filmed a prank video with James where they were like prank calling people, and Lorraine was over at Emma's house and Emma was like, hey, why don't you call me? And he was like, because you and James haven't spoken in like a year. And then he was like, let's just call James. And then James came over that day and they all had a chat and they rekindled. So apparently what happened was Emma Chamberlain changed her phone number. So James kept on messaging her, like congratulating her for stuff, and she just wasn't responding. I haven't changed my phone number in like years, like years. So people can still reach me. Don't reach me. If I haven't spoken to you in a few years, there is clearly a reason for that, and let's not rekindle that friendship. Anyone that I'm friends with or want to be friends with, I am friends with and I speak to. If I haven't spoken to you in more than 3 years, please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Oh, Emma also has this thing where she thinks everyone hates her, and I couldn't relate more. I feel like in my head, most YouTubers, even the ones that I talk to, hate me. Like that is just kind of where I'm at with my life, with my, brain. I think it's just like anxiety. I literally have like some of the worst anxiety I've seen in a while. Like I look at myself sometimes and I'm like, wow, your brain is, well, I'm talking to my brain. My brain is talking to itself going, wow, that is a lot of anxiety. Well, so yeah, I genuinely just think everyone hates me. And that they apparently haven't been friends for 2 years. Now that made no sense to me, because am I just completely out of the loop? But wasn't the bi-sister thing last year? And were they not filming videos right before that happened? Am I just like losing track of time? Because then that would imply that they stopped being friends during Dramageddon 1. But I'm pretty sure they stopped being friends during Dramageddon 2, which was 2019, April, May. Which would then mean that it's been a year and a half, unless they're just counting it as like 2020 is almost up, or they mentally want it to be up, so it's almost 2 years. But it's been like a year and a half since the whole thing went down. Yeah, so I think they mean like it's going to be 2 years in April, May, unless they like stopped hanging out right before that happened, so it's like closer to 2 years than 1 year. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, my maths was just completely off. Anyway, it was overall just really good vibes. I enjoyed both of those videos. I was like, that's just, I'm glad. Then we have Bella Thorne, who, I don't even know how I'm going to go about telling this story because, yikes. Okay, so Bella Thorne created an OnlyFans. I'm not going to explain to you what OnlyFans is. I'm not going to do it because the algorithm will not like me for that. So you can do that research yourself, but I'm pretty sure all of you know what OnlyFans is. So she created an OnlyFans where she kind of like scammed people. So what happened was, and let me, because I'm not like versed in OnlyFans stuff, so like it's just what I heard is kind of how I'm going to explain it. So there is OnlyFans, then there is like pay-per-view and tips. That's kind of how OnlyFans works. And you used to be able to withdraw money straight away. Like as soon as, like if you wanted it daily, you wanted to withdraw money daily, you could, which means there is no limit on like paying bills and stuff, where like if your bills come on like a certain day and you can only withdraw money on the next week or something, then you have to like be very careful with how you do spending. You could essentially set your tips and pay-per-view to whatever amount you wanted. Well, you don't set tips are what people choose, but they could give you whatever amount they wanted to give you, and then you could set your pay-per-view for whatever you wanted it. So people may pay monthly fees on OnlyFans, so you pay a monthly fee, and then you can post like more content for pay-per-view. So you'd be like, here is what you get. Like you get one picture a day for $15 a month. And then if you want to get this extra video that I filmed, you can pay $200 for it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that kind of a thing. Like you get extra content for like paying for it. And then someone can also tip you on top of that. That's what I'm understanding OnlyFans is. Bella Thorne created an OnlyFans, which people are kind of mad about because it seems like OnlyFans is a way for non-famous people to make money. And then Bella Thorne comes in, who is clearly well known, and she apparently made $2 million within a few days, or was it like a day of starting OnlyFans? Blows my mind that that happened. And apparently what happened was she posted a pay-per-view video or a picture that was supposed to be full everything out there, and it wasn't. And apparently a lot of people requested refunds because clearly I think it was like $200 that it was. So apparently, like obviously if you pay $200 and you're expecting one thing and you don't get that one thing that you paid $200 for, you're gonna want your $200 back. But apparently now what they've done is they've lowered the tipping and pay-per-view amounts. So they've put like a limit on how much you can charge for pay-per-view and how much you can charge for, and how much someone can tip you at a time. So I think tipping was down to $50 and pay-per-view was down to $100. It doesn't really make sense for people to do pay-per-view on certain things anymore, because let's say you value a video that you post, like you feel comfortable posting that video for $200, but you don't feel comfortable posting that picture or that video for $100. There's no way to like get around that. So it just kind of feels like now people will not post certain content because they don't feel comfortable doing that for a lesser amount. And that's all because Bella Thorne did what she did. Now, apparently also what happened was some people weren't able to withdraw money on a specific day. So for example, they would try to withdraw money and OnlyFans would be like, well, no, you can only now withdraw money once a month, like on a specific day. Now, some people have come to debunk that and say that it depends on your location, like what country you're in and how long you've been on OnlyFans, but that is also not confirmed now. So I'm waiting for more people that use OnlyFans to speak about if they're having problems with withdrawing money, because some people are saying they can still do it daily, but some people are saying that that option has been taken away from them. But I'm not sure if they had that option and now it's been taken away, or if they never had that option but they're just new accounts and they didn't realize they didn't have that option. I don't know, but apparently pay-per-view and tips is what's confirmed now changed. Now Bella Thorne has come out and kind of said that she's sorry for doing this and basically ruining OnlyFans for people that use it and live off of it, but she wanted to destigmatize it and like bring more mainstream awareness to it, which there is more than enough awareness. And if someone has a stigma against that kind of work, you doing that and making $2 million off of it in a day isn't going to like destigmatize it or change their mind on it. People that are, like I said, against this kind of work tend to be against it, and that's just kind of it. Like regardless of how much money someone makes, or regardless of what celebrity uses it or makes content for it, that's not going to make them feel any different about it. It just tends to be a thing of like you're either for it or against it. Do I think some people are able to change their minds through education? Of course, but that's like you watch educational videos on that kind of work rather than just seeing a headline going, oh, Bella Thorne makes $2 million on OnlyFans in a day. Like that's not going to change anyone's mind. Apparently she was going to do a documentary with another guy, and that guy has now come out and said that he was never planning on doing a documentary with her. But I'm not sure if that was because he's now seen the backlash she's gotten over this and he's like, oh, I don't want to do that, or if he genuinely just wasn't planning on doing this kind of a documentary with her. But that's kind of what the Bella Thorne situation is. Another situation is she apparently stole from a small company, so they sent her $1.5K worth of jewelry, and she was supposed to like shout them out on Instagram, and she never did. So it seems sketchy the way she goes about doing things, and it's clearly all motivated by having free stuff and making money, which everyone is allowed to be motivated by money. I'm very much motivated by making money, but it doesn't mean that I would screw over someone else to make extra money or get free products from them. I don't know, it's just weird. Tana Mongeau has now on multiple occasions shaded Bella Thorne, who is actually her ex-girlfriend-ish. They were kind of dating. So she posted a TikTok about how, oh, like most girls don't realize you have to actually show stuff on OnlyFans. But isn't that what Tana Mongeau got called out for as well? Like she started her OnlyFans, said it would be explicit content, and then it was her just like smoking or something. And then she wasn't really showing anything more than she would show on Instagram. So aren't you doing the same thing that you're shading Bella Thorne for? Because she was literally once, like, as Tana Mongeau started her OnlyFans, she made a lot of money. People called her out for it. Except it wasn't this, like, big backlash the way it was for Bella Thorne. But it was the exact same situation. Like, pretty much, down to the T, it was, like, the same situation. Anyway, and then she hinted that she would be posting, like, more explicit content on OnlyFans. I don't know. I don't care about Tana Mongeau right now. But she's been shading Bella Thorne for doing the exact same thing as she has done. Tana Mongeau has also hinted at the apology videos that she promised. So there was a situation with her and Carlin Barry and her and Nessa, which was that both of them felt like she was treating them differently because they were black. So what both of them wanted was a private apology from Tana Mongeau. Carlin pretty much this whole time has just been like, I just wanted you to DM me back. Like I really just wanted you to message me and say, hey, I'm really sorry about this thing. Like he didn't really want this like public video, because what's a public video gonna do for him personally? Like what's that gonna, is that gonna make him feel better about this whole thing? No. And he's tried to reach out to her before privately, which is why he then ended up making the video. So it's just like a whole thing, right? So this was never supposed to be public, but he clearly thought that this was the only way that he could reach her. She then, unprovoked, went on Instagram.com, posted an Instagram story basically saying that she's gonna post multiple videos regarding this whole thing. Was like, one, no one asked you to make videos. I feel like apology videos are very overdone right now. It's like, what, you're gonna sit down in a grey hoodie and no makeup on? It just doesn't really make sense. The most she can do right now is try to grow and fix herself, but it just seems like every few years there's some kind of a scandal with her, and it just happens a little bit too often for her to be showing any growth. And she was like, I'm gonna post multiple videos about this whole thing, and then she just like hasn't posted anything in 3 months. She's been hinting at it, saying that she's like almost done uploading, and then it just like never went up. I'm like, this is some bad Wi-Fi you've got going on. And now she's hinted at, this is so weird, I'm sorry, like I know, okay, hear me out. I'm not for YouTubers manipulating their audience, but it happens more than you guys would think, right? Like apology videos tend to just be a manipulation tactic to get people to shut up. Like the best thing that people can do is just educate themselves in private and then just be educated and just make better decisions. I don't know, but there are some very genuine apologies, which like, who made genuine apologies? Like people like Jenna Marbles, right? She's always been known as the person who makes actually genuine apologies, because she genuinely feels like if she wants to apologize, but in that apology, it's never just an apology. It's always an apology while also educating herself and saying, hey, but she does that publicly, where a lot of people educate themselves privately if that's something they want to do. But she could also just do all of that in private and just message Nessa and Carlin and be like, genuinely, here is my apology. This is what I've done to you. This is how I realized that it's like affected you. From this point onwards, I will not do that thing anymore. And this is how I've educated myself on not doing that thing anymore. And then in private, actually educate yourself, like speak to them and make sure that you're a better human being. But anyway, so she's posting these multiple videos that are now, they just seem to be like a Shane Dawson documentary, just without Shane Dawson, because Shane Dawson is also off the internet. So she now has to like make the documentary herself. Next thing is Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is in a bit of hot water, but not as bad as other people. So people always claim that the only reason that they still buy from Jeffree Star and they still support a is because he makes really good products. Sure, if that's where we want to, there are many good brands that you can buy from that aren't Jeffree Star. I'm going to blur out the names of people, because as much as I don't like that people are supporting Jeffree Star, I don't want them to get threats. And that is what happens when someone realizes that someone is a Jeffree Star stan. I'm just going to cut the names out and just keep the tweets in. So someone said, at Jeffree Star, is my mini palette supposed to have these? Oh, and I have to blur out the name of the palette because he couldn't name it nude. You couldn't just like, nude. You had to name it something that just wasn't appropriate. Okay, thanks. Jeffree Star, is my mini palette supposed to have these little pellets in the shadows? And it seems like there's like these little balls. Wow. Balls in makeup is the common denominator here. And it's in the shade Foam Party. So it's got like a little thing in it, right? This is kind of what happens when your shadow gets hard pan, but not hard pan in the sense of like, you know, when it's like a smooth surface, but you can't get anything out. Like, you know, sometimes you use stuff with a product and it pills almost, like it creates that, like, it like breaks apart in like I don't know, I can't explain it, but I've had situations like that, but just not that bad. Like I could just scrape it off the top and move on with my life. Oh, what did I have this with? I remember my old Naked Smoky palette. I used to like drench my brush in setting spray because I thought that's what you were supposed to do, and then I'd like dig it into the glittery shimmery eyeshadow, and then it started forming like weird balls, dots. But this is a brand new palette. Like this looks like it hasn't been used much, and mainly with obviously the launch being a few days ago, like that built up over a while, like months of me using it like that. Then it got hard pan and there were a few like harder bits, but this is too much for the few days that this person was probably using it. Then here is help. I received a mini palette, but glass wet cake like this. So obviously this is someone who hasn't even used the palette yet, and it already looks like that. So this is clearly not an issue of someone using it wrong, like me using the Naked Smoky palette wrong. This is someone who is just like receiving these products like that. I'm so sad that the mini palette is crumbly and the pans are hard and not pigmented. I got this for my birthday and I'm so disappointed. I've seen this with quite a few people's palettes. Please fix the mini. And this is what they look like. Obviously you can see a bit of hard pan. I'm like, I've got my mouse, right? And I'm like trying to show you guys where the hard pan is, and I just realized that you guys can't see where the hard pan is because you can't see where I'm pointing to. But obviously on the Frozen Fire shade in the top right corner where they like swatched it, it immediately went to hard pan. Like if your eyeshadow looks like that weird slippy surface, that's hard pan. Same thing happened for Soaking Sun. Yeah, top right, top left, I mean corner on Soaking Sun. Like you can see where they rubbed it, it went really smooth. And then Glass Wet is like weirdly crumbly. So someone then replied to someone who can view their tweets. Obviously I can't see them. I love the palettes, but is anyone else having an issue with the mini palette? Some of them not being as good as others. Some are buttery soft, others are forming balls after 2 uses. Yeah, so 2 uses, for example, is not enough to form hard pan and not enough to form those weird pilling textures. Like that's something that happens over like a year where you're like using it wrong for a whole year. And dude, it's so powdery, the main one. Oh, so the main palette, the big one, is powdery. His eyeshadows are powdery. I remember I got the Conspiracy palette in PR, which I then obviously have, I've gotten rid of it now. I don't have it, and they are very powdery, like a lot of fallout. But I thought that's just kind of what people liked because everyone said, oh, they're really good and they're very pigmented. And I get you can just like wipe it under your eyes, but they're very powdery. They're the kind of palettes that you have to use before doing your base, and I always do my base first, so it's just kind of, I always forget to do my base after doing everything else. I don't know, I'm just not one of those people. Someone said, Jeffree Star, hi Jeffree, why don't you just do hi at Jeffree Star? There's not a lot of characters in a tweet, make the most of them. I bought your mini palette from Beauty Bay, and 4 of the pans are defective and I can't get any payoff with Wet Glass or Foam Party. Those seem to be the 2 most problematic shades as well, is what I'm noticing. And I can see under the top layer from having only swatching them that Gagging and Frozen Fire have beading underneath. Lipstick Gate all over again. So Foam Party is once again like that in the last, remember the few tweets ago, this is the same shade having the same issues where it almost seems like, right, as if, have you ever tried to repress your like powder products and you don't grind them up enough, and then you try to repress them and you repress them into these little balls because you haven't like grinded it up enough? It almost looks like Foam Party hasn't been like milled finely enough, and then it's just been like repressed while it's got those like hard balls in it. I don't know. And then which ones look bad? I guess Frozen Fire looks a bit like hard pan. Glass Wet once again has those weird balls in it. I can't see anything else, but obviously I'm not the one testing these eyeshadows, so there's probably some issues with them. And then someone else replied to account owner limits who can view their tweets. When you get back to, oh wait, replying to Jeffree Star. Wait, has he gone private? I've literally just realized that they're both, wait, are they both replying to Jeffree Star and I haven't realized? Oh my god, wait. So, okay, because I've been blocked by Jeffree Star and I don't know if it would say the account owner has blocked. I'm gonna go check this out because I don't know if he's gone private or if that's just showing up because I've been blocked by Jeffree Star. It's crazy if he's gone private. When you get back to California, can you address the issues with the mini palette? Are they really meant to be shadow toppers? I don't think shadow toppers look like this. This is what these look like. Mini palette, Jeffree Star approved. Okay, hear me out, right? He prides himself on like this, oh, I can create the most like colourful and out there like shadow, I can't even speak, eyeshadow palettes anyway. So he creates blues and purples, but he can't do a nude palette. something that literally drugstore brands have figured out. Like, if you go to Maybelline, you could probably get a much better quality than this. Nudes are probably some of the easiest eyeshadows to formulate because they're not very difficult to blend or use. Anyway, that's the tea for today. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe because I post videos every time something happens. Hit that bell, you'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links, second channel, affiliate links, anything else in the description, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.